Dear students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. Today in this module, we will be discussing about waste collection with special emphasis on storage containers and collection vehicles. Waste collection is the first and foremost step in waste management. It is an important step and it consumes almost 70% of the total cost involved in waste management plan. The waste management should be done in a proper way. To have a successful waste collection, proper planning is required, starting from waste collection, the different storage containers which are to be used, their characteristics are more important, the types of collection vehicles which are to be used, the collection routing, route planning, collection crew, collection frequency, all these things should be properly planned to achieve a successful waste collection. And waste collection does not only restrict itself to just gathering the waste from different sources. It also involves its transfer and transport to a intermediate station called as a transfer station. Now, with this introduction, now let us look into the learning objectives of this module. In this module, we will discuss or study in detail about the characteristics of storage containers used in waste collection, the types of collection containers used in waste collection, the location of collection containers, then types of collection vehicles used in waste collection, and we will also discuss about the different types of collection systems. Now, waste collection containers play an important role in waste collection system. Their type, size and location will determine their efficiency. The size and type of containers might vary with location and source of generation. Like the residential colonies with single family households might require a very small sized containers when compared to a commercial, institutional or an industrial area which would require a large sized container. The size of containers will also determine the handling efficiency. Now, small containers can be handled manually like unlike the larger ones which will require a mechanical handling. Now, let us look into the characteristics of storage containers. The size and characteristics of storage container play an essential role in waste collection. A good container should have certain specific characteristics. If you have proper or a good container, that will save your collection energy, it will increase the speed of collection and also it will reduce the crew size. The characteristics that you have to consider while selecting a storage container is that it should be of low cost. Cheap and economical containers are generally selected so that the total cost of collection comes down. The second characteristic that you will look into is the size and weight. Any container that you are selecting for collection should be of appropriate size so that it will avoid any occupational health hazard. A container should not weigh more than 20 kgs. If it is weighing more than 20 kgs, then it will be difficult for a person to carry it or to transfer the waste manually. So, in that case, if it is heavy, it will also cause muscular strain or a ligament tear for the waste collector. So, that is called as an occupational hazard. So, to avoid that, it is essential that a container should not be weighing more than 20 kgs. And also, as I told you earlier, the single household families can use a small size containers and other commercial and institutional sources can use a large container. Likewise, the smaller size containers can be unloaded manually and larger containers need a mechanical lifting system. The next important characteristics which you have to look into while selecting a container would be the roughness. If the container has a rough surface, then it will facilitate easy attachment of waste, thereby leading to decomposition at the rough surface. Also, it might lead to growth of unnecessary microorganisms which can affect the waste that is loaded in the system. And also, the cleaning will be very difficult if the container is having a rough surface. Example of containers having a rough surface includes, for example, wood. If you see, they have a rough surface. So, in that case, it is difficult for you to clean those containers. So, wood you have to avoid. The other characteristic which is important while you select a container is it should not have sharp edges. If a container has a sharp edge, then what will happen is it might tend to cause injury to the waste collector crew. The next characteristic is the collection container should be inert. It should not react with the waste. Example, if you talk about the iron containers, containers that are made of iron might react with the moisture that is present in the waste and it can corrode them and lead to rusting. So, that is the best example of a non-inert material. The containers should always be covered because covered containers will prevent the entry of rainwater into the waste. The rainwater, what it does is it will accelerate the decomposition rate and it can lead to obnoxious smell. It will also increase the weight of the solid waste stored in the container. Now, covered containers will always prevent the entry of stray animals into the containers. So, while you select a container, it should always be covered. Containers should also have its own strength and durability. It is essential that you should select a container based on its durability, because durable containers or strong containers cannot break more frequently, and it will also be easy for a person to carry it, and even if they are doing rough handling, it will not break and it will stay there for a long period of time. Strong and durable containers will again minimize the cost of collection because it will last for a long period of time. Containers should also be provided with wheels which will facilitate its easy movement, and it will be easy for a person to carry or attach them to a collection vehicle and take it wherever they want to. The containers should also not absorb moisture. Now, when a container has a potential to retain moisture, then it will lead to a lot of bacterial and fungal growth, and as a result it will accelerate the decomposition of waste within the containers. Example of this is like wooden containers, bamboo baskets and all should be avoided because they have a tendency to absorb more moisture. The containers then, it should be having a light, smooth and a corrosion resistant. So, overall the container material should be light, smooth, corrosion resistant, inert and recyclable. Containers that lack the above mentioned characteristics should always be avoided in waste collection, as they create a lot of problem, and also they will increase the rate of collection, and also they will increase the collection cost and will minimize the collection efficiency. Now, let us discuss about the types of storage containers. The storage containers are broadly divided into two types. One, the stationary containers, and the other one is a hauled or movable containers. The stationary containers are immovable and they are fixed at the site of storage. The waste stored in these containers needs to be transferred manually by the waste collection crew. At times, the stationary containers are also emptied directly into the collection vehicle by mechanical means. Now, hauled or movable containers, they are fixed with wheels, so that it will be easy for a person to move them to a different position, or it can be easily taken to a waste processing site or a transfer station or directly to a disposal site. Now, these containers are used for collection of special type of waste, that is when the waste needs a special treatment and a processing. Now, this image shows you the stationary and a movable container. Third type of container is a communal container. Now, it is also called as a public container, and it is a conventional type of container which you can find it almost before 3 to 4 decades. These communal containers, you can find it in any public places like parks, residential colonies, shopping streets, office buildings and institutions. They are stationary containers and they are fixed onto the ground and they cannot be moved. Generally, they are cemented structures which is used by the public to dump their waste. These containers are open and hence they face a lot of problem during rain. Now, this image shows a cemented container which is called as a communal container, which is kept in a public area. Now, another problem of these communal container is they generally attract flies, insects, rodents and other stray animals, and also they require manual cleaning. That means a person or the waste collector should get into the container and clean them manually and then transfer the waste into the collection vehicle. In containers built below the vehicle level, they require sweeping, cleaning and loading of solid waste and its transfer into the container before loading into the collection vehicle. Now again this increases the collection time. In recent times these communal containers are also provided with a host and a tail that is compatible with the collection vehicle so that it is easily lifted and the waste can be transferred. Such movable communal containers are generally of capacity 1 to 4 meter cube. However, in places of high rate waste generation, large commercial centers, wet markets and other business establishments, the capacity of communal containers are generally large and it ranges from 12 to 20 meter cube. The major disadvantage of this communal container is that they emit a foul smell due to limited maintenance, and also the high rate of failure is observed in fixed communal containers. Now, let us discuss about the location of containers. Now, where actually you have to locate these storage containers? A container should be placed at a distance of 100 to 200 meters. Now, larger the distance between the container and the source of generation, it will discourage people from dumping the waste into a container. The location of the container will also depend on the width and length of the lane or road, the ease of collection vehicle to reach the containers and the amount of waste generation, and it will also depend on the type of source from where the waste is generated, like the commercial source, residential source, institutional source, etc. And the last factor that will determine the location of container is that the traffic congestion. Now, in narrow roads, if you see, the collection container can be placed at equidistant distance of 100 meters. The containers can be placed alternatively on either side of the lane. For example, on one side the distance between two collection containers can be 200 meters, while on the other side of the lane the distance can be 100 meters. So, in case of narrow streets with low traffic congestion, the container can be placed at a longer distance. Now, if you see, a resident will not walk to a 50 meter to dispose of the waste. So, again you have to keep this in mind when you locate a storage container. Another disadvantage of placing the container at a short distance is that it will increase the fuel consumption of the collection vehicle, because stoppage at every 50 meter will automatically increase the fuel consumption of the collection vehicle. So, it is always better to place the collection container at the end of the street, and this would minimize the collection and the overall transportation cost. Now, this figure shows the location of the storage containers at a distance of 50 meter and or 100 meters. Now, let us discuss about the waste collection vehicles. The waste collection vehicles are of different types and they are generally classified based on their size and compaction. Generally, if you see, there are three types of collection vehicles, like the small scale collection vehicle or the muzzle powered collection vehicles, non-compacted trucks and the compacted trucks. The selection of collection vehicle depends upon the nature and density of waste, terrain or location of the area, density of population, strength and capability of the collection crew. Now, this image shows a person collecting waste in a cart which is driven by a horse. So, these are conventional or collection vehicles that are used in ancient times. Okay. Now, let us discuss about a small scale collection vehicle or a muzzle powered vehicle. Now, these vehicles are generally used in areas like a rural or a hilly terrain areas. Now, examples of such vehicles can be a rickshaw, bullock cart or a tricycle, which are generally pulled manually, and they are used for these purposes. These vehicles are generally of low cost and it is easy to construct and maintain, and these vehicles are appropriate for areas with dense population and places having a narrow street where these compactor or non-compacted trucks cannot reach. So, also these vehicles can carry a very restricted amount of waste in that again serves as a disadvantage of the small or muzzle powered vehicles. So, in addition to the area coverage area, they are easily exposed to or influenced by the weather conditions and human and animal activities. Now, in this figure you can see the small or the muscle powered vehicles, the different small or muscle powered vehicles which are used for collection of waste in rural and hilly terrains. Now, the next type of collection vehicle is your non-compacted trucks. The non-compacted trucks are known to be relatively more efficient and affordable. These vehicles are generally utilized in small cities where the density of waste is not high and it does not require any compaction. Now, these compacted trucks have a capacity in the range of 10 to 12 meter cube and they are generally used to cover a small distance of less than 15 kilometer. The non-compacted trucks are usually covered to avoid flying of waste material and also entry of rainwater into the waste. Now, these trucks are generally preferred when the labor cost is very high. Similar to muscle powered vehicles, the non-compacted trucks are also operated by a single person. Now, this image shows the non-compacted trucks that are popularly used. I am sure everybody would have seen such vehicles collecting waste. The third type of collection vehicle is your compacted trucks. Now, these vehicles are provided with a compaction system to hydraulically compact the waste. Now, compaction generally increases the capacity of these trucks by 2 to 2.5 times. Now, again the capacity wise, if you see, it ranges between 12 to 15 meter cube and they are suitable for narrow roads. However, these small collection vehicles such as tricycles and bullock carts can discharge their waste into these compacted trucks. The vehicles are provided with a lifting mechanism to discharge the waste from the stationary containers located at the source of generation. The emptying of these containers are generally done from the rear side, front side or at the sides of the vehicles. Now, the compacted trucks can carry waste directly from the source of generation and take it to the processing site. When you talk about the major advantages of these compacted trucks, it includes large size, higher capacity, they are generally covered and it is safe for waste handlers because it gives minimum exposure for the person or the waste collector to the waste. So that it by this way the infections which the waste collector will get will be minimized. The compacted trucks cannot be used for waste that are dense, wet, gritty, dusty and abrasive material. For example, if you collect the inert waste like the construction and demolition waste, then it is difficult for it to be collected and collected in a compacted truck, because when you use a hydraulic ram to compress the waste, it affects the ram and it spoils them. So, generally these such wastes are avoided in a compacted truck. On the right hand side you can see the images of a compacted truck and the unloading of waste into these compacted trucks. The next type of collection vehicle is your specialized collection vehicle. Now, specialized collection vehicles such as closed body recycling trucks, recycling trailers, modified flatbed trucks, flatbed trucks, open bin recycling trucks and compartmentalized trucks are mainly used for collection of waste that is already segregated at the source. In developed countries, large waste storage containers are located outdoor or at the basement of collection of recyclables. Now, the recyclables are further transported to the processing site through a specialized collection vehicles. Now, let us look into each of these specialized collection vehicles in detail. Now, the standard Packard trucks, it is a specialized collection vehicle generally used for the collection of recyclables. Now, these vehicles are fitted with the rear loading and they can be used for collection of newspapers, cardboards and magazines. Now, special trailers attached at the rear loading packers are used for can and gas collection. While collection of glass and cans, compacting mechanism should not be used, because since glass is a highly abrasive material, it would damage the packer plate and also unbroken glass will affect the segregation process. Similar to a rear loading packer, front end loaders are also used for newspaper collection, glass collection and can collection from your apartment buildings. The next type of specialized vehicle is a closed body recycling truck. Now, the truck consists of an enclosed steel body and it is installed on a lowered truck chassis, low entry walk in cab fitted with left and right driving control. The body of these trucks is provided with adjustable hinged dividers to create 2 or 4 compartments. The overall capacity of these trucks ranges from 24.6 to 28 meter cube. The trucks can be loaded both manually by opening one or both sides of the compartment and mechanically with front mounted telescopic hoist. The next type of specialized container is a mobile container system. It consists of a steel frame with a set of hydraulic fork used to transport large bins of waste. Now, around 3 to 6 bins can be transported by this system. The waste is loaded into the system by lowering the forklift into the ground, through which the bins are lifted over and glide into channels on the underside of the bins. The empty bins are hydraulically raised and secured to the trailer frame and replaced in its original position. Next type of specialized collection vehicle is a modified flat bed trucks. The standard flat bed truck is used for the curbside collection. In these types of vehicles, there is a hydraulic dumping box fitted on the top of the truck bed. The dumping box again has a 3 to 4 compartment which have a standard volume of around 14.7 meter cube. The open bin recycling truck, it's again a type of specialized collection vehicle having 2 or 3 self-dumping bin with the exposed top. The waste is emptied mechanically into these bins through low mounted troughs. The capacity of front bins is around 5.4 to 7.3 meter cube and back bins are 9.1 to 11 meter cube. The waste from the back bins are discharged from the rear side of the vehicles. Now, let us discuss about the types of collection system. The waste collection system are classified based on the mode of operation, equipment used and the type of waste collected. Based on the mode of operation, the collection system is generally categorized into 2 types. One, hauled container system and the other one is a stationary container system. In a hauled container system, if you see this, the waste containers are hauled to discharge the waste directly to a transfer station or a material recovery facility or disposal site. Now, this system is commonly used in places where the size of the containers is large and the rate of waste generation is relatively high. The large containers will avoid waste accumulation, unsanitary conditions and improve the use of small containers. The major advantage of hauled container system is their flexibility to use containers of different size and shape. They are also available for the collection of any other type of waste. Now, hauled container system also minimizes the size of collection crew as it requires only one truck and a driver for a round trip to the waste processing or a disposal site. Now, highly compressible waste can also be transported to the hauled container system. In rare cases, as I told you earlier, it needs just a one collection driver. In rare cases, a helper is also attached to the system. There are 3 main types of hauled container system. One is your hoist truck, second tilt frame container and the third one is trash trailer. Now, hoist truck system is previously used in military setups and after the arrival of self-loading waste collection, they are no more used there. Now, its usage has been restricted to few pickup points where huge waste is generated and again where newer and efficient system would incur high cost. So, in those conditions they are used. Now, this image shows the hauled container system with a hoist and a tilt mechanism. Now, this next type of hauled stationary container is a tilt frame container system. In a tilt frame, loaded vehicles are generally used for collection of rubbish and other solid waste. Now, these tilt frame loaded vehicles along with the large containers are called as drop boxes or roll-off containers. Now, large volume of waste can be hauled with the tilt frame loaded vehicles, due to which they are popular among private collection services. Trash trailer system is similar to that of tilt frame container system and they are best suited to carry heavy rubbish like metal, timber, sand, etc. And they are generally used for carrying construction and the demolition waste. Now, this shows a hauled container system which is used in the conventional mode, and the next slide In this, the image shows a hauled container system which is operated in an exchange mode. Okay. So, now let us look into the next type of container system, that is a stationary container system. Now, the stationary container system is used to collect all type of waste, and the storage containers are placed at the source of generation. According to the type and quality of waste to be handled, the stationary container system are classified into two types. So, systems in which the collection vehicles are loaded manually. This system is commonly used for collecting waste from residential source, separated waste, litter and commingled waste. Manual loading is done at places where the waste generation is small and the accessibility to pickup points is difficult for mechanically loaded vehicles. Now, again this figure shows you a stationary container system. Now, systems in which collection vehicles are loaded mechanically. This is the second type in the stationary collection system. The capacity of these containers that are used in mechanical containers is 0.9 meter cube, and they facilitate ease of loading and provide greater flexibility. In some cases, the large containers are also used as a substitute for a number of small containers. This system is not suitable for collection of heavy waste, example industrial waste and rubbish. The stationary container system involves worker fatigue and it increases the capital and the maintenance cost. The personnel requirement for the stationary collection system again varies from 1 to 3 depending upon the type of service and the collection equipment. To summarize, at the end of this module, we have familiarized about the characteristics of storage containers, the different types of storage containers that are used for waste collection. Then we have also discussed where to locate these storage containers and what are the advantages of placing them at a particular distance. Now, then we discussed about the collection vehicles and their types, like the small and muzzle powered vehicles, then the compacted trucks and the non-compacted trucks. Then we also discussed about certain specialized collection vehicles especially used for collection of recyclables. Then finally, we discussed about the two types of collection system, that is the hauled collection system and the stationary collection system. I am sure this module would be of great help to you. Thank you.